Hello, Whovians of the Internet, and welcome to this Whothoughts episode 17. And today we'll be taking a look at the 1985 Colin Baker story, The Two Doctors, which also features good old Patrick Troughton. So let's get on with this. Right, first off, I love this story. It's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, it starts off really well with the Doctor and the second Doctor and Jamie going to this huge space station to visit Daspari, who's implied to be a old friend of the Doctor. And and the first person they encounter boarding the space station is everybody's favourite Andrew Goodman, shot guy at the Quansing Grig, who is basically a butcher and would basically kill anything just to have this nice daily supply of meat. Shot guy. And so basically the second Doctor gets kidnapped and basically all hell breaks loose. And then the sixth Doctor is doing something different with Perry, in that they're out fishing. Ah, bless. And what has the question if there was actually even any very little water anyway in the little rock pool that they were in, and then basically the Doctor has this twinge of cosmic angst because basically the second Doctor is actually just pretty much been taken away, and they travel to the space station and find pretty much a half-crazed Jamie who believes that the Doctor is dead, even though the Doctor, is right there. I mean, but you have to feel sorry for Jamie. Because he believes that his Doctor, Troughton's Doctor, is dead. Yeah. And then of course, basically the main villains of this are a race called the Androcons. There are two main ones. Shot Guy, who's your normal looking one, and Cassini, who's basically gone through molecular changes to make her look like human. Because apparently she doesn't like her red eyebrows and Rice Krispie warts. Now I swear to God, those warts were actually made of Rice Krispies. Well, the makeup has to do something. And of course they filmed in Spain. I think it's the last classic series episode to film in Spain, abroad. The TV movie notwithstanding, because that was always going to be filmed in Canada anyway. I think the first one is Paris for City of Death. They went to Amsterdam a few times, Pier Davis, I'm not too sure. But they went to Spain. And the Spanish setting really works well in this story. All the beautiful scenery of the city, it's where the restaurant, Las Cadenas is, which is actually called in real life Las Dacenas. And to make a picture, they just changed around some of the words. Very resourceful of the production designers, very resourceful. And of course the Hacienda, which is where most of the action takes place. And it just looks so cool. It has, whenever Doctor goes abroad, there's always that Hollywood feel to it, I think. I don't have to say on terms of the location. It's just really well done. And then there was the cast. Colin Baker has one of his best performances in this. I mean, he's like my least favourite Doctor. It's not because it was bad. It's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. okay, there are a few duds, but still an alright era, but he was just a little bit too violent, and that's really why he was my least favourite Doctor. I don't like my Doctors to be overly violent, and sadly Colin Baker was. And of course Patrick Troughton returning. He's brilliant as ever. I mean, when has Troughton not been brilliant as the Doctor? It's Troughton for Pete's sake. And then Perry, she's good as always. Fraser Hines is brilliant in this as Jamie. Going from like all the worries that his Doctor was dead, just accompanying the Sixth Doctor and Perry, to find the Troughton Doctor. He's just, it looks having a whale of a time. And I wonder how much is, because they're wearing loose clothes, and Perry's wearing a t-shirt and mini skirt. Colin's wearing a waistcoat, which actually looks nicer than his actual jacket, and some trousers and stuff. And he's wearing a huge Scottish garb and a kilt. Poor guy. I must know how you're baked in that. And of course, when they were filming, they filmed in temperatures of 118 degrees C. I'm dead serious. 118 degrees C. How they managed to put up with it, I have no idea. And of course, two of the best things with the story, Oscar and Anita. Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody who's watched this story doesn't like Oscar and Anita. They're just brilliant. Oscar, he's the moth hunter and Shakespearean actor. And Anita is pretty much his partner, his girlfriend, his missus, his whatever. And of course he's the interim boss manager of Las Cadenas, the aforementioned restaurant that the Second Doctor and Shock I go to. The stuff they ordered, lobster, clams and pig, squid, brains in white sauce, 2 whole sucking pigs, a ham with figs, 8 steaks, an entire family portion of paella, along with and they had 12 pigeon breasts to help wash down the last of their 12 bottles of wine. The bill ran up to, I think, 81,600 pesetas, and this is before the days of the euro, folks. This is before the days of the euro. And they tried paying, I remember, with the 20 narc note, and it isn't accepted. And it's just like, and it's courtesy that they can change anywhere in the 9 planets, and they don't accept it. I mean, if he's referring to our solar system and talking Shockwave, then why can't they just change it? I'd actually like to see that currency replace the euro. That would actually be deadly. We'll replace the euro with the narc. Yeah. And then of course Oscar meets Sticky and gets stabbed by Shockeye. Poor old Oscar. Nobody ever saw his definitive Hamlet. His dying words were basically Hamlet, Hamlet quote. And then he tells me to take care of his moths, and then he goes up to join the choir invisible. But anyway, then of course the secondary villains are the Sontarans, who really are played secondary villains. Watching this again, as much I love the Sontarans as much as the next guy, but looking at this again, I don't really see any point of the Sontarans coming in here, other than the fact that JNT wanted to do a Sontaran story, and they decided to bring it in. And they both get killed off. I mean, personally, I love the design of the Sontarans. As my dad, the one here. I mean, you can see I think it's on the cover. It's Group Marshal Stike. Yeah, Group Marshal Stike. I can't remember the other guy. I think it was Bal. I think his name was. But I actually prefer it's sort of reminiscent of the design for the Sontaran experiment. I mean, if you bear with me for a moment, I think there's an issue of DWM that explains the transition. Let me just pick something there. There we go. So this was in DWM 427, which came out a few years ago. DWM 427. And they had the Watcher's Guide to the Sontarans. So basically you have Lynx. This is the original Sontaran design. Dyer. Store, which looks like the bloated version of Blakey from On the Buses. Stike, and where are you, little Stal? Yep. So basically, I think Stal and Stike look more like Steyr from Sontaran Experiment, and poor guys, they get blown up. I think it's like nearly halfway into the third part. They get hit by chronic acid. I think it was just around chapter 4. Chapter 4 on the DVD. So yeah, not really that much point to them, but I can see where JNT was going, because he did want to bring the old villains back. Like, he brought the Master back, followed by the Cybermen, followed by... He didn't bring back anybody for season 20, did he? I'm not including the Cybermen, the Daleks, and the Dalek and the Yeti, and the Five Doctors. No, he didn't bring back. He brought back the Silurians, he brought back the Daleks finally, and he brought back Sontarans. I think those are the only monsters I think he brought back. Villains he brought back. Master, Cybermen, Silurians, Daleks. Well, the Daleks were going to come back anyway. Sontarans. Did he bring anybody for season for McCoy? No, I don't think he brought back anybody for McCoy. But yeah, well, and how Shockeye dies is pretty graphic. You know, he just gets like the net and like cyanide, and basically just smothers Shockeye, and he's just like, oh my god, you violence isn't the answer. I remember when I got this, it was rated 15s in Ireland. See, I don't know if I tried to rip that off there, but it said for 15 years and more. And the discs just have it rated as but it's rated as a PG in Britain. My said it wasn't rated to 12s. But yeah, so is there anything else? I can't really think there's anything really else to say. You know, writing was good as always. You know, Robert Holmes, good as always. He was nearing the end of his life by this stage, so this was probably the last of his great classics. And the sad thing about this was, I think it was the Monday after episode 2 aired that Michael Grade put Doctor Who on hold, rested Doctor Who for 18 months. Oh, how we all hate Michael Grade. He denied us of new episodes in the 90s. And he cancelled Primeval. But yeah. Well, he didn't really cancel Primeval. I think he was just about to leave his post as ITV chairman when they cancelled Primeval. But I like to think he had a little say in this. And he actually tried to prevent Doctor Who coming back. And then he said first episode, I was like, yeah. basically his mind changed really. He's just like, I actually like this. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, kudos to the production team, kudos. But yeah, so finally, overall, I would give the Two Doctors a 9 out of 10. It's very good, but it just loses points really for it doesn't really need the Santarans. The Androgums were villains enough. But yeah, the Two Doctors, 9 out of 10. It is still one of the standout stories of season 22, and you should go watch it if you haven't watched it already. It is really good. And that's it for Whothoughts for today. Tomorrow, because I'm playing catch up to try and get the 11 Faces of Doctor Who review season over and done with, so I can talk about other things. We're going to talk about Battlefield. Yeah, starring Celeste McCoy, so it's the 7th Doctor this time, and we'll be reviewing Battlefield. So until then, goodbye.